money Monday, but nobody's making money today. Nobody. A lot of people are off from work. They can't go to work. Market's down 2,000. All kinds of crazy crap is happening. I can tell you that. And it ain't pretty. What's happening in New York, New Jersey, across the country, all the governors are meeting today. There is a widespread rumor that I have some pretty, I think, fairly reputable sources who have told me that in the next few days, we're going to get a 20-day lockdown. So everyone, unless you're deemed essential, emergency service, healthcare workers, stay home. For the most people, there'll be a daytime period where you can run around, go to the store, pharmacy, et cetera, but it could get ugly. And when cabin fever gets really high, you're wishing you had somebody with you. Now's the time more than ever where you need an expert like Susan Trombetti. Susan?
Hey.
How are you? You're a celebrity matchmaker, but you're also a relationship expert. So
Yes.
you don't only match up celebrities.
Right,
you
right.
match up lots of different.
Young
You're
everyone.
the celebrity that gets the matches made.
Not really,
No?
But no, I do make some matches, and sometimes I come out on the first match, and it's a hit, you know?
Bang, right out of the box.
Yeah,
That's
it's
rare.
amazing.
I'd say that's rare.
It happens quite frequently. You'd be surprised. By the time you take out, all the possible things that could go wrong, the only thing left are sparks. If you had a good feeling for that, it very well might fly.
This may be a terrible reference with all the corona stuff going on, but isn't it like kind of, don't you then start like creating your own dating like petri dish there where you're like separating, well, she doesn't like this and he doesn't like that. And then sometimes, they say like, law of human nature is opposites attract.
Exactly.
And you may be prohibiting like many of the, great relationships of all time.
Well, that's what I
because people are
say.
so different.
Don't tie my hands behind my back, okay?
You
Let
say
me
that.
do my job,
That's,
right?
I've
I
seen
do
that
it.
in a
Yeah.
lot of dating profiles.
Because you wind up marrying the opposite of what you thought you were going to marry, or you wind up with the person long term and you never would have looked at them twice, right? How often does that happen?
I don't know,
Quite
but
a bit.
I do know of some instances where people that you wouldn't think would have met online and turned into really good relationships.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say, you're swiping or however you do it, and you see someone right now, it's almost like inappropriate to ask to meet.
Exactly. You don't know what to do. So what you do is, how do you get that hot new relationship off the ground, right?
Tell me
and
more.
so you opt for virtual dates, like FaceTime dates. So listen, no, really, come on
This
now.
is crazy.
I used to say, like, the coffee dates are out for 2020, right? And virtual dates are in. What's the best way to find out what your date looks like, right? And you're going to be pleasantly
Not
surprised.
the picture on their profile,
Right,
I can tell you that,
exactly.
100%.
So FaceTime, right?
I'm going to tell you something funny. One of my friends said, hey, you got to come meet me for a drink. You got to see this girl. So I said, wow, you found a live one? He says, oh yeah, you got to see her. So he goes, meet me for one drink. She's going to meet me and leave. So I said, all right, well, sure. So I go down to meet him. He goes, shows me his phone. This is her, all right? He goes, she walks in. He goes, oh, look, her grandma showed up.
That's pretty funny.
He had seen her in person once before and agreed to a second meeting, but the girl was about 15 years older than her profile photo.
Oh, it always happens like that. I remember I had a girlfriend way back when, and the one photo was, this hot guy and the other not so hot looking. And she finally realized he sent a photo of his brother, and that was the hot guy, and she was dating the not so hot looking one.
So you were talking about FaceTime.
Yeah.
Is this real? I mean, FaceTime?
Yeah, virtual dates. Yeah,
How
absolutely.
can you get sparks over a phone?
Flirtation and anticipation. Yeah, absolutely.
Textification.
There you go, textlationships. That's what you're gonna have. This is the only time I'm giving you permission to like text, flirt, like how, because usually when you're first dating.
What's appropriate? Let's say, a lot of different viewers on the show, women across the whole country, ask about my personal status, and I thank every one of them for watching the show and their feedback and all that stuff, but I don't even know what to do.
Well, usually, okay, before the coronavirus, all right, you might say, hey, I'm running 5 minutes late, or I'm at the bar. That's appropriate, okay? I had a great time. Oh, you look so pretty, or whatever it is.
So you could text in the Me Too movement moment.
Yeah.
You could text, "You look so pretty."
Well, after you meet, look so pretty tonight, right? Acknowledge, but now,
There's all these rules now.
Right.
It's like the mouse in the maze. You
So
know what I'm saying?
yeah, so usually what happens is everybody texts a book, right?
Yeah.
And they don't stop texting, and really they get to know each other. They think way too soon, and they have this familiarity that really isn't there with the intimacy level of the relationship. So it's not good for the relationship. But now I'm saying it's okay to text, right? But text in flirtatious ways
I'm gonna
to get
do
to know
an
each other.
exercise with you.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's exercise.
Watch this. So, let's go with 1, 2, and 3. So, talking about texting, right? You said don't text like a book.
You're not
right?
supposed to, right?
Take a look at this, Mike. Put this. See if you can see that on the one shot. You see that on the one? Okay, you see that? So now, if you're just texting with a girl, for all the and a girl too, texting with a guy. In the beginning, what range of text size should you use? Like 1, 2 is like an intermediate, like you put a little time into it, and then like ... and then a long one that says more on the bottom.
Okay. Number one, before coronavirus, right?
Okay.
The whole page after the coronavirus, right? You need to get to know each other now, right?
So the
and
whole
you're depending on your smart device.
So you're saying to bombard a potential person who has shown, mutual consent to further communicating, you should bombard her with all of these, not just one.
As you're getting to know each other now and relying on it, be like,
So what should the average size be? I feel like girls that I'm friends with say, they hate when they just start talking to a guy and then there's like a whole thing on there.
Before, that's usual. Yeah, like, oh, I wish you were on the couch here cuddling up with me, and meanwhile they meet him in person and they don't even give him a kiss right on the cheek. So that's a little inappropriate, right? It's just not matching what's going on in person. But now, if you've had your virtual dates and you're like locked down, you can't go out, you can't do anything, you're in the house, it's okay what is everybody doing? They're sitting on their couch watching TV, right? So it's okay now to exchange in a lengthier text if they're game for it. If they're not.
What's the acceptable time for text responses?
Well, that's what I was just going to say.
Okay.
If they're responding, okay, you can go on as long as you want to.
No, but I'm saying, what's the, let's say someone texts someone, and then they don't answer for like an hour. So what should their response, what's the right response rate? Like play it cool, wait an hour?
No,
or respond right back?
I got to tell you. So my clients get really upset when a woman, doesn't text them right back. If you're interested, you need to text right back, okay? And I don't mean if you're working, that's okay, but you need to be texting back and immediately. You don't wait till the next day. You don't wait 8 hours later. Listen, everybody looks at their phone. We all know it's attached to our hand, right?
Come on.
You got a minute to
It's
say,
so
I'm
creative.
working,
Yeah.
But I will get back with you
cool.
later and can't wait.
I know, but sometimes, if you are busy, but it makes sense that you should throw out a flare and you send a thumbs up or a smiley face or something. And then, I've heard reports from friends of mine that the women, sometimes get upset that it wasn't thoughtful enough, that it was just a quick emoji or something. We forget about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, before now, I think really you should limit your texting until you know somebody. Like if it's your wife, if it's your significant other.
Then you limit your texting as much as possible.
No, you send plenty still flirty texting, right? That's what my husband do all day long, right?
Oh boy. Susan, you said earlier if we really drink on the show, I think you got to come back one day and have
a
half
few.
a drink with
I might
us.
be down there.
And then,
I would love
and then
to.
we could really talk turkey, and it'll be a lot of fun. But where can people find out more about Susan Trombetti's great services?
Exclusivematchmaking.net.
Exclusivematchmaking.net. And you give them tips on all this kind of stuff. How to talk
and
to people,
actually
how to
usually,
treat them, places to go, ideas for them to do together, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. So usually on Monday nights, I live tweet during The Bachelor. That's over now, but I do that a lot, during The Bachelor franchise, and I pass out when they're airing their whatever, and I pass out dating tips, dating advice. I answer questions.
Why don't they do like an old man bachelor? You know what I'm saying? Like all these guys are like straight out of Central Casting.
Didn't they have like a
40-year-old
40-year-old one time? I know.
Crazy. Well, Susan, I want to thank you very much for joining us, and
thanks for
thank
having
you for
me,
these
John.
great tips and all this other stuff. And you got to go out and check out Susan Trombetti's website because If you need as much as help as I do, you better hang out with her for a little while. I'm going to report back to you on how I'm doing, all right? We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back right after this. And Frankie's here. Frankie's here. Could we just stay on live on this?